little bit of a technical issue there. I hate to make you guys wait. How are y'all doing? Can y'all hear me? All right. Gonna mess with the audio a little bit here. How are y'all doing today? We got a lot of news to cover. There had been kind of a pause of breaking it for a while. And the thing is about doing this is like so many times now, by so many times has to be like a dozen times. I've sent something out and then it comes out to not be confirmed or to be inaccurate, and then I have to take it down or delete it or retract it or whatever. Ooh, we got the chat lighting up. What's up, guys? What's up? I'm glad. See, y'all keep me alive. Y'all keep me alive. Y'all give me the spirit bomb energy. What's up, Republic Apostle? I see you on X all the time. What's up, Brooklyn? What's up, Jose? Blade Trader, Brooklyn and Wes. What's up, Wes? We got Wes in the chat. Wes is the producer for the gray area. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. What y'all think of the Friday show or Thursday show? I guess I should say there wasn't a Friday show besides the American Journal. What did y'all think of that? I really wish that had been a one-on-one, if I have to be honest with you. Like, it had to be done on the gray area because the guy, like, he absolutely would not do any other time, tried to get War Room scheduled with him. He didn't want that, said he was gonna be busy for 2 weeks, and then I'm driving home with my dog. To be honest with you, I smoked a joint or whatever, like, hours and hours ago, and I'm tired. I'm going home, and I get the DM or whatever once I get parked in my driveway, and it's the quartering. And he wants to come on the show, and then we say yes, and then he says he has to watch a movie, and then he comes on, and the guy admits he's not a serious person. All his political positions are basically just jokes on the internet. But he's never clarified that before. Apparently, everything he says is both a joke and it's not a joke because he's been giving serious political opinions. I really want to talk to him again just because I think he's being intellectually dishonest, and I think he knows he's being intellectually dishonest. And when you get angry in a debate, you lose the debate. And that is what happened. I got angry, and he was able to dance around and be a amorphous blob. But the reality is, on the facts, he admitted that he's not a serious person. And he's not even a political commentator, really. So I guess it's like slice of life. He talks about Brie Larson's tits. That's what he said. He says, I have 1,000 videos on Brie Larson's boobies. How dare you say that me saying glassaron is a joke on Twitter when I'm being dead serious? And he knows he's being dead serious too. But you can't win a debate against someone that lies to you about what their position is because their position changes every 5 seconds. And it just makes my blood boil to think about all the people that just excuse the dead children. And there have been a variety of excuses for this. Here's what we often hear. We hear that the excuse of, well, what about the children is used for authoritarian justification. It's like, oh, like if we don't implement this domestic policy, if we don't give more power to the government, then it's going to hurt the kids. So therefore, you have to do communism. What does that have to do with dropping a bomb on a school in an unprovoked war? It's got absolutely nothing to do with it. We're talking about foreign policy here. But I don't think he understands that. Maybe he does. Actually, I do think he understands that. And I know he's lying about it. But the sad thing about all of this, I'll get back into that a little bit. The sad thing about all this is I really wish he was right. Like, I really wish that there was a justification for this war. I really wish that we had Americans dying over there for a good reason instead of no reason at all, a fake reason, really multiple reasons. Nuclear weapons, ballistic missiles, they killed our soldiers, 1979. This is what I've been hearing a lot actually. They say, "Oh no, we've been at war with Iran since 1979." So it's like the war is not meant to end. It's meant to be continuous. That's literally, like, I hate to say just overused Orwellian, but it's very Orwellian. Let's see what y'all have to say. I feel like we're past the point of awareness. Action is needed and somehow unity. Yeah, what it is like mass peaceful protest. And I really want to work on that. It's just very hard right now. Like, I'm trying not to go bankrupt. I'm trying to pay my employees and pay my warehouse rent. And I'm trying to just go full tilt into doing shows every single day, multiple times a day, so I can get better at broadcasting for you guys and I can just have that built in. But yeah, it's gonna take people getting out there in the street. I always say this, and people can laugh at me and whatever. You can laugh at me, but I know I can convince enough normal people to get behind me that I'll be proven right. It's Martin Luther King Jr. style protests reunite against anti-pedophile, anti-forever war, anti-oligarchy, anti privatization of our government, and liberty, freedom back to the people, creating a real representative government. I stand for positions such as publicly funded elections. Now, you may not agree with me. You may think that that's insane. You may call me a leftist or whatever. I would say that's an ad hominem. That's not a legitimate critique when we have Congress people that go in there broke and come out worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. And their campaigns are all funded by, like, look at Byron Donalds, for example, 41 million. How, how are you? Let's say you are the best qualified candidate. I'm getting another phone call. Let's say you're the most qualified candidate in the entire world to have the position of governor, and you're the most eloquent person. You're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're an engineer, all these things. Maybe you were a mayor for a city for 20 years and made it absolutely perfect, right? Hey man, I'm gonna call you back, okay? Sorry. All right. We love that. We love losing our train of thought. Where was I at? Where was I at, guys? You got to remind me where I was at. I got to remember to turn on do not disturb. And here's the thing: we're getting to be professional. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. And getting professional means getting my finances in order, really, and having the money to actually have a team of people to help me with this. And that's why I'm working so hard on both fronts. Where was I at? Can y'all remind me where I was at? That just completely pissed me off and took me out. Can y'all remind me where I was at, please? All right. We'll wait on that for a little bit. That's not a problem. That's not a big deal at all. The war is continuous. The war is not meant to end. But I was saying something after that. Damn it. This phone, man. Good grief. Little nicotine break. Yeah, I know we were talking about the discussion, but it's bigger than discussion. I was trying to pivot off of that, and that's what happens when you have distractions in the studio. That's unprofessional. All right. Well, let me just go ahead and share my screen. We're going to go ahead and do presentation. So, we've heard a lot of talk from a lot of different people about how, oh, no, 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 no. There's no such thing as international law. It's all made up. And how dare you, like Adam Sosnick said to Dave Smith, how dare you say the United States is the world's greatest state sponsor of terrorism? So I watch a lot of these old heads talk online. I watch Chris Hedges, Judge Napolitano, Pepe Escobar a lot. I watch Glenn Deason, even though he's not really old head, and Nima's a young guy too on Dialogue Works. But they have these guys that come on and they're like award-winning journalists. Like Chris Hedges has won a Pulitzer Prize. He's interviewing John Kiriakou, by the way, and I highly suggest you watch the full interview after this stream. But my point being is these are like the greatest minds from the 20th century that were involved in major American domestic and foreign policy. I love listening to Lawrence Wilkerson talk. He was the second in command under Colin Powell. And if you're over the age of 30 or 35 years old, you'll know how important Colin Powell was. But I'm going to go ahead and play this. He does an excellent rundown on what we've been involved in.
Coordinate with Israeli officials. The campaign is part of the effort to brand Iran as the world's leading sponsor of state terrorism because of its support for Shiite militias in Iraq, the Houthis in Yemen, and Hezbollah in Lebanon, as well as Hamas in occupied Palestine. But is Iran, by supporting proxies, doing anything the U.S. has not engaged in for decades? And can the groups that Iran supports always be classified as terrorist organizations? Hamas, which is Sunni rather than Shia, was not formed as a terrorist group. It was formed as part of the Palestinian struggle for liberation, when the secular leadership of the Palestine Liberation Organization failed to deliver on its promises to create a Palestinian state. Hezbollah also was not formed as a terrorist organization. It was birthed as an opposition force to fight against Israeli occupation of southern Lebanon from 1982 to 2000. The Houthis.
And here's the thing: if you resist, if you ever fight back against the American Israeli empire, you're a terrorist. And see, when you control the language, I guess you can call people whatever you want. But the thing about this war, this is what I wanted to say. All right, this is what I want to say, and I'm going to cut it back to me. Damn it. All right. I wish these people were right. Like I seriously wish these people were right. I wish these people were evil monsters and there was a reason for us to be doing this. I love my country. I'm an absolute patriot. But to love this country, what does that mean? A lot of these people online that claim to be patriots, they love the government. Okay, they're authoritarians. They're fascists. They're actual fascists. And I have to use that language because it's the descriptive term. They want a socialized military police state. that has total authority over them, because as long as they're able to lick the hand that feeds, and as long as the chains sit lightly upon them, it doesn't bother them at all that little kids die in other countries so that they can lose money and get inflated cash and have a destroyed economy over time. Like, it hurts us too. In the short term, I guess it's a thing of where you can go, "Oh, I'm just looking at something else happen over there. It's like reality TV. It's not real." This actually makes me mad. And like, I sit in the chair and I'm doing the debate with that guy, or discussion with the guy, whatever you want to call whatever that was. And he's sitting there chuckling about it. And like, I'm attempting to have a serious political discussion with this guy, even if his position is it's all jokes, it's all jokes. He's incapable of thinking about it even for a second, because if he does, his entire world paradigm just falls completely apart. So it's compartmentalization. He just puts that away, and then he doesn't have to think about it anymore. I can't do that anymore. I couldn't do that after Ukraine. Like that's why I started broadcasting again. It wasn't for the 12-day war or for this coming Iran conflict that's now begun and is a full scale war, no matter how much they deny it. It was seeing the million plus dead in Ukraine, in a war that we perpetuated, in a war that we funded, in a place that we've been trying to do coups in and did do a coup in 2014, even earlier than that. We've been on Russia's border in the same way they were on ours in the Cuban Missile Crisis, and we hold them to a completely different standard. And we've been funding this war, been perpetuating it. Zelensky was ready to sign the peace deal a month after it started. Boris Johnson. Did you vote for Boris Johnson? Is that an elected official that was on the ballot in your county or state in a local or a statewide or a national election? No. But we're a part of NATO. So we got to fund NATO and back him and give weapons and missiles and death to Zelensky so that he can murder more of his own people. And so more Russians can die. It's Orthodox Christians killing Orthodox Christians. I wonder who set that up. But you look at that entire situation, and then you look at Larry Fink coming in with Zelensky, with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. It's all a big cult. It's all a big club. And people like this still support the administration that promised to end it on day one. They don't even talk about it anymore. And it's on to the Iran thing. And if you care about dead brown kids and you're a dirty muzzy lover, you're a pig. Like that guy that called in, a lot of people think that guy was fake. I think that guy was real. Okay. Like, we just hop on from South Carolina or Arkansas, I forget which, and you tell us about how you want to kill them animals over there. And then if you're joking about stuff like that, then you're on that team. And you're not joking about it because there's no joke there. It's not funny. It's not funny to kill little kids. It's the joke police, the joke police. No, 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 no. You're either a comedian 100% of the time or you're a political commentator. Like, is it comedy mixed into your politics to be like, oh, this is such an extreme position? Of course, I'm anti-war. Why are you backing up the person calling me a leftist? Who's openly pro-war, pro-Zionist, wants to rebuild the third temple. He does a show with a lady that wants to rebuild the third temple. And I'm just like, wow. And I just pointed at that as a microcosm, as an example, because like I'm really developing my political consciousness moving forward. And I'm learning a lot more domestically about the country and about the political identity of the country, which is my mission. I'm a geopolitical enthusiast. I'm not an expert. I'd like to be an expert one day, but the stuff that I am an expert in, the stuff I put my 10,000 hours in, I've been doing media much longer than the quartering has been doing. I've been paying attention to politics much longer than he has, much more in depth. The thing I've been about is being aware of the zeitgeist of the American people. And while there is a strong portion of us, or there is or are, I forget the grammar, there is a strong portion of us, or there are a strong portion of us that are anti-war, are principled, hate seeing this happen. And even though we are the majority, about 30 to 40% of people think that this is justified. And that's made out of 20% hillbot, authoritarian, like kind of like Zionist Democrat types. And then the other side is like the mega patriot. It's the skin suited fake patriot. And that's 20%, that's 30%, that's damn near half. That's what we struggle against, guys. This is a real problem. And I don't know how we're going to address it if the people that are on that side aren't going to even be honest about the positions that they hold. Because not being aggressively anti war, not being aggressively anti this administration, not being purposeful in how you're going to stop this empire from destroying us all, and it will bury us too, then there's no place for you in politics. There really isn't. If you're just here for ha ha time, if you're just here to laugh at the burned bodies of dead children, if you're here to compare it to 9/11, I will say when he said, "Oh, you think this is as bad as 9/11? You think this is as bad as 9/11?" I will say this. I will say this. I said I think it's comparable. Like I think they're equivalent to each other. Like that was their 9/11. What I should have said is the U.S. government did both of those events. U.S. government did both those things. Now, one of those things was to get us into a war. The other one of those things was to terrorize a civilian population, try to beat them into submission. But they were both run by the U.S. and Israeli government. They were both run by the empire. And if you don't call it out for being the empire, then you got no place in politics. And it makes me deeply, deeply upset to see that after a decade plus of what I thought was positive political movement towards actual political thoughts, towards solutions, towards peace, towards ending this shit once and for all. Turns out a lot of people aren't interested in that. A lot of people like to sit on a fence and have that fence right up all the way up their ass. I ain't doing that. Like you guys can see me from day one taking very strong principled positions on these things. They're not going to change. Like I've always felt this way. My first video when I was 8 years old was called Terrorism 101. I was talking about all the same stuff. So where was Jeremy in 2012? I'd be very interested to know because he did this whole thing about, oh, how we're new to this, how we're new to. No. You see, Jeremy, I was part of an actual political movement. And we were banned off of YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. I was part of the InfoWars network. I was a reporter. And we didn't have all the good graces of being a milquetoast fence sitter like you did, of surviving, okay, and of just towing the line and backing Trump no matter what he did. Okay, we really struggled and suffered, okay, between 2018 and 2022, okay? And like we're suffering now to this day. The studio is going to be shut down. But we've been doing this and we've had the same stance forever. Now, you could say you've had the same stance forever, being like pro-Trump and being right-wing or whatever. But what does that mean to you? It just means leader worship to you. There's no ideology. There's no position you actually back. He didn't do mass deportations. Obama deported more people. He didn't do no new wars. He did more forever wars. All of this shit. Crypto coins, the gambling, the scamming, all of it. But those people identify with that because they know they're on that runaway train. Eventually, they're going to run out of track and it's going to stop moving. So it's all flash in the pan stuff. We have to be here for the long term. We have to do coverage for the long term. We have to be honest about those positions. Okay. You can't support war. You just, and if you do, you got to be honest about it. And then we don't view you as legitimate in the same way that we don't view you as legitimate if you're just a comedian. Yup. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to the Chris Hedges video for a little bit. We'll go back to Chris Hedges for a little bit, talking about state sponsor of terror.
As well rose up to fight a repressive Saudi-backed regime in Yemen. While these groups, like all resistance groups, including Jewish militias that founded the State of Israel and the African National Congress, have carried out acts of terrorism, including bombings, kidnappings, assassinations, and hijackings to achieve their goals of liberation, they are not strictly speaking terrorists or nihilistic killers. They are fighting in their eyes for an end to occupation and liberation. How is this different from the U.S. backing of proxy organizations? The CIA has long funded and armed groups that use terrorism as a tactic. Cuban anti-Castro organizations funded by the CIA, for example, placed a bomb on a Cuban commercial airliner in 1976 that killed all 73 passengers on board. The CIA helped form and fund death squads in Chile, Argentina, El Salvador, Guatemala, and later during the war in Iraq armed and trained murderous Shiite militias. The U.S. backed right-wing terrorist organizations in Italy during the so-called Years of Lead from the late 1960s into the early 1980s. From 1979 to 1990, Washington provided financial, logistical, and military support to the Contra rebels in Nicaragua. The Contras seeking to overthrow the
and I have family, my great uncle, my grandma's brother, I have family that was personally involved in these types of operations. And like they're real. And these people, like they deny that they exist. We'll go ahead and keep playing it. I know about the doubled audio. It really sucks not having someone to switch for me. I need to get that figured out. It's a StreamYard problem. I have to mute myself.
Leftist Sandinista government carried out an estimated 1,300 terrorist attacks. The U.S. also provided extensive military aid to Syrian militias, including the notorious Nur al-Din al-Zenki Islamist group and ISIS in Syria, fighting against the Syrian regime. These Islamist groups abducted and tortured journalists and foreign aid workers and carried out executions by beheadings. Joining me to discuss the designation of Iran as the world's greatest sponsor of terrorism is John Kieran.
All right, I just thought that was an excellent rundown. Anyone that says, "Oh, you can't say that about America," or "Oh, you're saying it about the troops," we're clearly not saying it about the troops directly, unless those troops are involved in war crimes like they were in Vietnam and many other places, killing civilians. All right, pretty much everywhere they've been deployed, vast majority don't do that. They're heroes to the country. They're doing their job. They're a tool. It's how the tool gets used. That's the problem. That's openly known. We're talking about our government. We're talking about the government that does these things. And another point, I'm not just trying to make this a response, but it's just there's so many key factors here that we can get into. You know what? Let's just go ahead and get into the news. Let's go ahead and get into the news here. So this is insane. And this is another thing these people like to do is they say, "Oh, no, 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 no. We've got it figured out. The situation is getting better. They're working on peace." We hear this all the time. Trump declares victory, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get into all the air power that's been destroyed alongside the radars. But look at this. Search for the pilot continues. Iran offers bounty and Trump threatens. Iran called on civilians to capture the missing pilot, shot down from U.S. aircraft, offering bounty money as Trump threatened 48 hours remain before hell will rain down on Iran if they don't accept the deal. So we've had a number of aircraft. Let me just go ahead and pull this up here. We've had a number of aircraft that have already been taken out of commission. We've had 17 MQ-9 Reapers shot down. We've had 8 KC-135 tankers damaged, 4 F-15E Strike Eagles lost, 1 E-3G Sentry AWAC. That's a $270 million plane. And the reason why that was deployed in theater was to make up for all the radars that have been destroyed. Then we got the Warthog, we got the F-35 damaged, and that was this case. A missile got close to it. It deployed the flares so that the missile would hit the flares, be attracted to their thermal signature, and it was damaged by shrapnel. I think it made it back. Helicopters, Black Hawk damage, 2 Pavehawks damaged, and then 1 Chinook destroyed. 10 million, 90 million, 18.8 million, 40 million, 270 million. Estimated now at 700 million. So they build these things like 10, 20 years ago, and then they get destroyed, and it's going to be like 5 times more money to get them replaced. And this is just another key factor for anybody that supports this conflict. Like, you think this was a good use of assets and funds? You think we're achieving our objectives? What are those objectives exactly? I'd like to hear. I really want to debate someone that's not a slimy retard and is just honest about being pro-war, so we can go through these things. Like, this is what these people think is a good idea. This is like the menu that they've selected to eat off of. It's really crazy. And then we've got the Trump tweet right here. I think this is from this morning. "Remember when I gave Iran 10 days to make a deal with Trump, or open up the Hormuz Strait? Time is running out. 48 hours before all hell rained down upon them. Glory be to God." President Donald J. Trump. What do we think of this? I'm gonna read some comments. Read some comments here in a second. What do we think of this, guys? What do we think of what's going on here? What are y'all up to today? As well, the weather has been horrible here. Not horrible, just very windy and intermittent rain. Fast hitting heavy rain. And we can take a look here in contrast to that. And we can look at the Trump that I supported. And they want to gaslight us into thinking that this isn't the reality, right? And that this is a total betrayal of everything that we thought that we supported. This is Trump in 2019. The United States has spent some $8 trillion fighting and policing in the Middle East. Thousands of our great soldiers have died or have been badly wounded. Millions of people have died on the other side. Going into the Middle East is the worst decision ever made. Why did we make that decision again? I guess because it's only a dozen dead so far and not thousands. It doesn't matter. It's all proportionality. Is that how it works? Is it not an all or nothing game for you with American blood? Because it should be zero American blood over there right now. We've wasted already billions of dollars again, and they're trying to pass a quarter trillion. They will pass a quarter trillion defense package to fund this and other wars. I mean, here's the thing. What I really need is somebody to just catalog all of these insane, inane statements, and we have to do timeline analysis of them. And it's not even going to take that long. Like it'll only take a few months for just like anyone you talk to about this. If they can't see the truth about it, if you can't see, like if you put it up in front of their face, what's been said versus what's been done, and all the promises made and broken, if they can't break with it, you're literally dealing with like a flesh android, like a robot, like a automaton, animatronic guy. And I don't know what we do for those people. It's a mental health condition. It may just be an IQ problem at the end of the day where they can't really understand these concepts. They can't really visualize things in their head. But I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is black and white. This is black and white evidence. And everyone's saying, "Oh, we betrayed MAGA. We left MAGA. We're attacking Trump because we're trying to get clicks." And it's just these old people. That's how they talk. You're trying to get clicks. You're trying to get clicks. I'm like, no, we're trying to stop the murder. Okay, the state-sanctioned murder that we pay for. It would be one thing if we didn't pay taxes. Okay, but we pay taxes into this. The government does this in our name. I view it as defamation, to be honest with you. I think the American population has been defamed to the global public by our own government. They do these things in our name. They get the funding in our name. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time to fix, but like in that debate I had with Gordering, like what he said, "Oh, well, I've been alive a lot longer than you, young man, and all presidents are bad. And when you become older, you'll understand this." No, you're weak. You're a weak person, and you've been among many weak people for quite some time. The United States of America has a lot of these weak people in it that think that empire can just be perpetuated forever with no consequences. And you're old. I don't know how old he is. Probably north of 38 or however old that guy is. The young people will not accept this anymore. The young people will demand change. And your milquetoast fence setting of, "Oh, it'll be the same for the next 100 years," when the right wing doesn't offer real rational solutions to take care of the people, the left wing will, and the younger people will listen to them. So what you're doing is it's by its very nature a grift, because it's going to die organically. That would be the best way that I could put it. All right, let's see what else we have. Let's see what else we got. We got more. If y'all, I want y'all to throw more stuff in the chat. Feel free. If you want to see a story, you want me to break down, anything you want me to cover, anything what's on my mind, let me know. Let me know. Indeed, we may do call in. We may do call in. I don't know how long I'm going to be live. I think I'll be live for a little bit. I think I might do more later as well. We got that already covered that. Okay. Breaking. A massive line of U.S. Air Force C-17 transport aircraft is currently crossing the Atlantic towards the Middle East alongside KC-135 refueling tankers. A second wave, is already over Europe, heading for the Eastern Mediterranean. We carry troops and heavy equipment, blah, blah, blah. You can literally watch your tax dollars work. You can, you send the money off on April 14th. You can literally see where it goes. Like, that's what we pay for. And if we pay for it, just like any kind of good or service or whatever, we have a right to an opinion on it, and we have a right to not buy it anymore. We're being forced to buy this stuff. It's like a credit card bill that you can't cancel. That's the best way I can describe this. And if you don't see this, and this doesn't make you mad, examine it a little more, and I think you'll reach a similar emotion to me. I mean, these people in our government, these fucking bastards in our government that do this shit to us, that spend all of our money on all the worst things imaginable. And like we talked about it with Fishback a little bit, and he was getting examples about teachers and whatever. You look at the daycare example, it's 140 billion to make a federal daycare program for every single child in the United States. You wouldn't even need to do that. You could just subsidize it and make it affordable for parents to do it, give them a tax credit, whatever you're going to do. We can't even do that. It was 17 billion to build the wall. They called Trump evil for that. We said he can't do that. Notice how you don't hear about that anymore. They want to pass a $1.5 trillion defense budget. Now think about that for a second. We're going to think about it. We're going to take it in. We're going to let it percolate. Now imagine if that money was spent at home on you, on your family, on sick people, on people that need to get off the street, on mental health services, on healthcare, on food. And then I'll say something like that, and they'll call me a left winger. And getting back to my earlier point, you're never going to win another election again. And whatever he wants to say about being anti-war, I'm sure he'd call himself a Republican. I don't call myself fucking Republican. Fuck them. You on a sports team now, boy? You gonna put on the jersey? You gonna throw the football around with Papa Trump? Maybe he'll be proud of you. We're not playing those games, okay? I want to see Trump impeached. I want to see Hegseth charged and on trial. I want to see the war criminals held accountable. I want to see international law, the thing you people say doesn't exist, honored. I demand all of it, okay? And we're going to get it too, because we're going to push for it and we're not going to let up on it, and we're right and you're wrong and you know it. Very simple. Very simple. The cat turd, the loomer, all those people, they're not going to be around here in 8 years. They just won't. There's not going to be another Republican Zionist administration for them to harvest power from. It's not going to exist. And I hope and pray we don't get a crazed left-wing administration. But I'm actually trying to work against that by trying to find actual constitutional candidates and trying to be a constitutionalist, a classical liberal, a real conservative, in my opinion. And then I'm the doom pillar. I'm the leftist. Just because I'm trying to keep the country's ideals alive. And they come after my dad in the same way too. Nothing is ever good enough. It's the same with the people that are like super like Wignat or Groyper adjacent, or the Groypers like us. Shout out to the Groypers. I'm not trying to hate on the Groyper. Shout out Groyper. Hail Groyper. But there are a lot of people that are just like, oh, you sold out. You're evil. And my dad's literally being torn apart right now for being anti-war all over the internet. So no friends on the left, no friends on the right, no friends in the uniparty. Where are our friends? And I know the people listening to me right now are our friends. And I know there are a lot of people out there that believe in us and believe in the mission, or are true to it. But we have to reach a point to where more people in society realize that this is a problem. And I think a problem with it is the internet culture that makes people not take it too seriously. That's why we need protests. That's why we need stuff like that. But there's no hiding from this. There's no running away from it. When the depression hits, it's all going to be over. So we should all have to get prepared for that point in American history. History tends to rhyme, in my opinion. 1929, Great Depression. 2029, I think, will be the year as well. Yummy, yummy yerba mate for my tummy. Delicious time, yerba mate feast. All right, we've got this. More than 30 generals. All right, we can't say that because that's not true. But more than 30 generals have been fired. We know that for sure, dismissed or whatever. No, they'll come out for an official reason for it. They fired the chief chaplain, like the chief preacher, like a spiritual guy for the military, or like he was let go, or like he resigned or whatever. A lot's going to come out. Like there are more American deaths than we're currently being told about. There are more American casualties we're currently being told about. There are more resignations, both at high level and the mid level, like on the ground, than we're being told about. This is all going to come out, and it won't be hidden forever. So, like, just get ready for the avalanche of all of this coming down, and be sure. Like, we all have to study this. We all have to know what to say to tell people about this, to tell people about the gravity of what's going on. I've been doing it in normal life. I go to the juice place, talk to somebody about the war, go to the gas station, talk to somebody about the war, go to the dog place, talk to somebody about the war. Like, you know what's going on? Like, I really hate what's going on right now, man. Like, these people need to be out of our government. Like that's straight up the conversations I've been having with people on the street, because I care. I actually care about doing this. This isn't some damn means to an end for me, unlike most of these people. Look at that. And only speculation. Again, speculation story. Oh boy. Forgot we had this in here. Okay. Cat turd. Now we know why Democrats want to tax the hell out of you, so they can fund all their billions of dollars to scams in every state. We literally have a 1.5 trillion defense package they're trying to pass right now, plus an additional 200 trillion to the war, plus, or not trillion, billion, plus the 50 so billion they've spent already on the conflict. plus the billions lost in radars and planes and all the tech that's been expensed, plus the billions lost or multi-millions lost in the missiles, munition systems that we're out of and have to reorder. It's just so insane. It's just so crazy. And that's why I'm not brave enough to take actual political position against me. You say it's all a joke. Because I just lay it out black and white like that, and you know I'm being right. You know I'm being correct. The raped of Europe, talk about this a little bit. Breaking, all young men between the ages of 17 and 45 are no longer allowed to leave Germany for more than 3 months without permission. So you're supposed to go die in a war with Ukraine or a war with Israel or a war for Israel or a war for God knows what as your country becomes Bangladesh, as your country becomes Singapore, as your country becomes Mumbai. I just, I it's just like that video. I played it on stream last week of the fucking the Australian volunteer with call sign Lupo hopping around the trench system shooting at other people. You think that's cool? You think that's cool when you're being replaced in your own country? You think that's cool when you're fighting a war for Zog? Ultimately, you're fighting a war for evil empire that hates you and wants you dead and wants to replace you with a permanent underclass. Do I sound like a left winger to you now? I'd be very interested because see, I'm being ideologically consistent about what I believe. When we bomb them and kill them and destroy them over there and war crime them, that makes them want to come over to our countries and do the same shit. Very simple. The quickest way to make a terrorist is to bomb somebody's house. And that's all we do. And then our young men, our flesh and blood, the real treasure of the country, the sperm bank of the country, gets propagandized into going and fighting these Call of Duty Black Ops 12 wars against ghosts that don't exist, against their own flesh and blood. Let's be honest about what this is. It's a lot of white people killing a lot of white people in Europe and Ukraine. And they're all for that. That's wonderful for them because they can import people from Afghanistan. Fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy. You don't support the president. Fuck no, I don't. The president's perpetuating all this. He's a part of it. They want us to take every single Palestinian refugee. That's what Netanyahu has openly said. People have been bombed for their entire existence. We want to take them over here because Israel doesn't want to deal with them. Israel needs to give them their freaking land back. Period. Did you see the Argentina news? I mean, a new Israeli state at 300,000. Are they moving to Argentina? It's literally like the Nazis. Like, they're just the new Nazis. And if that makes me a leftist, I guess I'm a leftist then. That makes me a leftist to call you a Nazi when you're a Nazi. That's the standard we're held to. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I got one more slide to get through. I'm going to do a little plug after that slide. And then I'm going to pull up some more news and I'll wait for a few suggestions coming to the chat. I'll be live for a while. I got to step away really quick in like 20 minutes, but I'll be right back. I'll just be off screen for a second. Okay, this is phenomenal. This is when people ask me, like, what is your position on this? This isn't 100% mine because I view Midnight Hammer also as a fraudulent operation, to be honest with you. But this is pretty damn boilerplate if you're going to be talking to people about the conflict. They can't argue with anything in here. From Joe Kent, Israel moved the red line and forced the war. Trump's original red line was no nuclear weapon for Iran. The Supreme Leader agreed and held a prohibition on nuclear weapons since 2004. That's the fatwa, that's the religious decree. It's a crime against God to make a nuclear weapon. The disagreement and debate was on enrichment levels and monitoring. The Israelis convinced POTUS that zero enrichment was the red line. The Iranians disagreed. We took out their enrichment capability with Operation Midnight Hammer, making enrichment a dead issue. This is the second highest guy in the DNI. Iran was back at the negotiating table afterwards. This was a major threat to Israel's goal of regime change, so they forced our hand and attacked Iran, knowing Iran would then attack us, plunging us into the war. I'm going to make a note. Find British/French general talking about strikes during negotiations. Because it's literally rinse and repeat what we did in the 12-day war, what Israel, us, really. I like to say us because it's empire. And that we have to be clear about what we're talking about. We attack during the negotiation. Like the boom, like that's our cover. That's us being sneaky. And it's literally it's like Charlie Brown with the football or Lucy with the football. You know it's coming. They have to be like, well, we were in negotiations, brother. They will probably kill us tomorrow. Oh, yes, we have replacement. Like, that's got to be the type of discussion the Iranians are having with each other. So this guy with the fucking 10 head over here, this guy is telling the former director of counterterrorism, who served 11 combat deployments, lost his wife in the Middle East, literally is CIA bred. He's telling him he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's just like cat turd, just like any of these types. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Here's the thing. If you want to support what I'm doing here, if you want this show to get better, and I am trying my damnedest to make this show better, let me tell you a little bit about my life. And I'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to take the camera back on me before I throw the product up on the screen. I have been working since I was 8 years old. Okay. I grew up at the InfoWars office. It's basically the only home I've ever had that I've ever stayed in. All right. I spent more time in there than any place I can think of in my entire life. I grew up doing copywriting. I grew up doing customer service on the phones, on the emails. I grew up editing. I grew up doing reports. I grew up working for my dad and working with all the phenomenal people in InfoWars. Let me tell you what I'm the most proud of. Okay, because I grew up and sure I was a reporter and I went on the show and I did stuff like that. But my real background is in warehousing. My real background is in supplement manufacturing and formulating. My real background is in advertisement. That's what I've been doing literally for a decade plus. And for the past 5 years, since I was 19 years old or 18, about to be 19 years old, I started my own business. I'm a supplement salesman online. I do fulfillment. I am a shipper. I am a manufacturer as well. I do nose to tail white labeling for people and for myself. I have multiple different brands, right? And I am the proudest of being able to offer people the best price on the best quality they can find. I like to call it budget premium because in my experience, flying all around the country, working for a bunch of different companies, doing formulating, manufacturing for a ton of different people, I have seen it up close. And what it is an industry of rotting old, drooling boomers who got a trademark on a specific ingredient or had that ingredient studied for like $150,000 at some C rank college. And now they own the ingredient and they own a proprietary blend and they want to sell you something for $14 a bottle. I grew up watching this. That's why InfoWars was so incredible. We actually did our own manufacturing. We actually did our own fulfillment. We were able to cut out these middlemen. And I did the same process for myself again with my business, which is really just a pygmy style version of the old free speech systems operation that we had that I was so proud of. I spent many a summer doing 40-hour work weeks, doing 4 10-hour shifts a day, fulfilling boxes, breaking down pallets, doing tech work on the computer, fulfilling orders, managing returns, all of it. And the thing that makes me the happiest is seeing a product go out the door. And, like, that's what I do. That's my day job. That's what keeps a roof over my head. So when I come here and I do a 3-hour show in the morning on the American Journal, or I do a nightly live where I do the 3-hour lives with me and Tim, we do the deep dive, we have the interviews, we have the guests. I have all of that going on, as well as payroll, paying my fulfillment people, paying the bill in my warehouse, paying for insurance, paying for security, paying for all these things. It's really brutal. I pay around like between, like 8 to 9 grand a month. And, I'm making money. I have phenomenal products that people want, but it's really close to that red line. And I feel like if more people knew about the phenomenal things that I had available, literally the best supplements around the entire world at the best price, I think more people will want to support me. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and present this to you. This is just one of my stores, 50% off.com. I want to show you Knockout Sleep Support. So this product has sold hundreds of thousands of units. All right. This product has sold hundreds of thousands of bottles over its lifetime. This was a flagship InfoWars Life product back in the day. This literally kept the lights on along with iodine at InfoWars store. It's tried and tested. It's loved. It's got 8 different ingredients in it. It's got melatonin, valerian root, lemon balm, hops flower extract. It's got L-tryptophan, GABA, L-theanine, magnesium. Literally every single thing you could ever want for sleep. It's all in here in ideal dosages. It doesn't conk you out and make you feel too sleepy, or send you into that sleep where you're groggy when you wake up. This is a phenomenal daily driver sleep aid, and I highly recommend you subscribe to it. I really do. At $30, if you're buying melatonin and magnesium at the grocery store, both those products are around $18 to $20 on their own. You save money, you get a higher quality product, and you have more fun with this. I'm just going to be honest. The GABA, the magnesium, the L-theanine, it creates a very relaxed phenotype around bed. I love it. I've literally taken this product for about 10 years. I probably started taking this, like 8 to 9 years. Like when I was like 14 years old, I started taking this. I absolutely love it. And when I ran out of the old InfoWars Life inventory that I still had remaining, I was like, okay, I've got to reformulate this. I've got to get it out there for people. Like this is what people want. And if you're out there and you're looking for better sleep, you're looking for a sleep supplement, or you take melatonin already, whenever you run out of your existing melatonin supply, just try this. It's got 3 milligrams of melatonin. It's got L-tryptophan, valerian root, lemon balm, hops flower, GABA, L-theanine, and magnesium, all there wrapped into one. And that's what you want. This is what you want to take. This is available right now on 50percentoff.com, as well as a few other interesting goodies as well. And this is not my only store. I'm going to show you a few other stores here in a second. I've got this traditional InfoWars Live testosterone booster, super popular Alpha Power. I've got Brain Force Plus on here. I mean, you want to talk about a winner? I talk about something keep the lights on. This is what propelled the operation to the next level. I still have it. Brain Force Plus, Alpha GPC, Bacopa, the cholinergic matrix, Alpha GPC, Huperzine A. If you want to take that stuff, it's available here for a limited time. I will pull this at some point. That's Brain Force Plus, an absolute winner. Let me go ahead and go back to myself really quick. I'm going to show you one other site. I'll show you 2 other sites. I'm going to show you Jones CBD. Because here's the thing. When it comes to supplements, in my experience, being around this since I was like 12 years old, younger than that, I went door to door as a longevity salesman as a kid. I've been doing this forever. The number one thing people ask you about is sleep and recovery. And when you're looking at a sleep or recovery CBD, and these people want to make you pay 50, 60 bucks for a product that contains melatonin and CBD, they're absolutely robbing you. There's no reason for them to do that. I have a good margin on this, and we both get a 360 win on this deal. This is 1,500 milligram full spectrum CBD tincture made in Texas, up in Denton, then shipped to me, and then I ship it out to you from Leander, Texas. You're literally supporting American manufacturing and American jobs, American payroll, if you want to get this product. This is Dreamwave. People absolutely love it. The thing that takes this to the next level is this has the German CO2 extracted blue camel in it. So a lot of these CBDs for the oil-based tinctures, and I have a nano one as well that you can just squirt down your throat, or you can put in a drink and just swallow it. A lot of these CBD tinctures, because they're oil-based, the bioavailability is only about 10 to 20%, unless you do sublingual administration, which is you leave it under your tongue. But people don't like the taste, tastes a little weird. How do we fix that? Well, you make it super enjoyable to do sublingual CBD to where you can just fall asleep with it in your mouth. Literally, I fall asleep with this in my mouth most nights. I squirt it under the tongue, and then I go lie down in bed after I brush my teeth, and I go to sleep, and I feel amazing. I wake up feeling amazing. And that's because you can actually get the full spectrum, full benefits of this CBD because it tastes great, and you can do it sublingually. And if you're looking for something stronger, and this is stronger, it doesn't taste nearly as good. We've added ginger actually to the new formulas. This has got Ultra Green Nano CBD. And this is CBD, which is emulsified in a lectin layer. So if you've got any serious inflammation, nerve irritation, stuff like that, this can really support preventing oxidative stress and further cascades of those problems. I really, really like this. My grandma loves it. My grandma is super active in the pool. And sometimes that can, cause her to have a little bit of lower back exhaustion. And for stuff like that, if she's been doing a lot of kickboard or a lot of like block work, or a lot of work with the stick where you pass it over and between the hands, this is a great product for her. That's what she tells me she uses it for. I've also got this. The price tag on this is 60 bucks, but this is 200 milligram ashwagandha, 30 serving, combined with CBD, CBG tincture, and ginger. Okay, this tastes amazing. It's incredible for your brain. It's incredible for your testosterone. It's incredible for lowering cortisol. All these things. Here's the key philosophy that you got to keep in mind around Jones CBD. That this is what you have to remember. I use the CBD as a functional hybrid base that has all these amazing anti-inflammatory, pro-relaxation, pro-positive mood, pro-physical activity, pro just human empowerment aspects to it, and then I throw the supplements in on top of it. That Ultra Green also has chlorophyll in it, hence why it's called Ultra Green, and that's a massively powerful antioxidant. You really want to consider taking this one if you've got any sort of irritation issue that you might want to alleviate or have alleviated in the past. View a doctor's recommendation with CBD. So I love it. Let me show you one more store. Why not? Here's the thing. I get bashful when I plug. I gotta plug. I gotta pay my rent. I gotta pay my employees. That's what it is for me. I've got this as well. If you're someone out there looking for a specific kind of boost or enhancement, I've got the highest dosed, best priced mushroom blends on the entire market. I mean, where else are you going to find Ultimate Lion's Mane 600 milligram a cap, 60 caps in a thing? You literally get a 1.2 gram daily monthly supply for the cost of a Chick-fil-A DoorDash meal with a large shake. I mean, like that calculation is just unbelievable. And these people out there that try to do these bullshit supplement brands, here's what they do. They do like the mushroom coffee or the greens powder. You go, oh, it has the functional adaptogens in it. It has the mushrooms. It has whatever. But they use like 50, 100, 200 milligrams of the thing. And they claim that it's done. The studies say most of these things, you have to take half a gram minimum. And with Lion's Mane, you got to take at least half a gram for 3 months, or you got to take a gram for a month to get the BDNF, the brain derived neurotrophic factor, the neuroplasticity, the younger brain, the new habits, new skill forming, all that incredible nootropic power you get from this. You have to take an actual dose of it that works, period. So I offer that. I've got a lot of phenomenal bundles on here where you can save even more. I mean, here's the thing. Cordyceps for the gym enhancement and then Lion's Mane for the mental enhancement for $60. Like you're not going to find a better deal anywhere else on the market. If you do, message me or at me on Twitter. I'll send you a discount code. And I just want to remind people, this is the thing I'm the most proud of. This is probably the best product I have. Just it's so amazing at what it does, and it's so really non-offensive. Just gives you great sleep. You don't have to worry about it. Non-drowsy, non-habit forming, of course. Knockout sleep support. If you're taking melatonin already, if that's a part of your routine, if you want to support the show, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe to Knockout Sleep Support. But yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Sorry to plug so long. Let me read some comments from you guys. U.S. State Department loves using X to overthrow nations. Absolutely. Didn't Hitler escape to Argentina? Yes, he did. Yes, he did escape to Argentina. It's literally just it's not even funny at this point. Okay. I have someone coming to the house and I got to pick up something really quick. So I'm going to, this is what I'm going to do. And please forgive me. Please forgive me, guys, for doing this. I won't do it just yet. We'll go through a little bit more news and information. Stay here because I'm going to stay on live and I want to talk to y'all. I want to have time to pull up some more facts. I was watching this morning and it was excellent. It's very excellent. I'm going to throw this up while I put some more things together. Let's enjoy this.
There's one major
of it. I gotta get damn YouTube Premium, man. I don't even have YouTube Premium. I do, I do, but just not for gray area. So I appreciate you guys. I really do. Here's the thing. Like this is a chill space. I'll never have an arrogant attitude with you guys about how I feel about media. I'm literally a guy doing this in his dining room who just like. The thing about doing it in the dining room is when I'm doing it in the studio, I literally feel the same way. I don't have a high horse. Like this is just my life. This is just what I do. This is my home looks like an office because my home's always been an office, you know? I'm classically trained. This is what I am. So if you guys like if it's enjoyable to spend time with me, like that means everything to me and more. I guess I can talk about this as well. A little drinky time. We love yerba mate, so delicious. Okay. So I've been thinking about this and how exactly it's going to work after the end of American Journal, which, maybe soon. Okay. So I'm not going to give much more information on that. Doesn't have to do with us. We've been doing a great job. They love us. We're going to be on the new network as well. But doing the 3-hour show in the morning, I actually really like that. I really like that format. I get to be the first. I get to get in before anyone else has covered anything, get to cover breaking news. And then you get to have the pause and the reflection time and the time to do work in the early afternoon, which I do like as well. After that time, you get to come back at night and then maybe do like a 90-minute or like a 2 hour, right? Like a gray area show, like a shorter gray area show, or a version of my own program daily. And I think that's what I'm going to go to. I think I'm going to go to between 4.5 hours and 5 hours live a day, maybe more than that. And you know what? It's really weird. And it's not really weird because it's been me distracting myself from the fact that my bills are crazy and the economy sucks and people don't have as much money to spend online anymore. Being in e-commerce for 5 years, it's really sucked. I've been playing more video games recently. Why can't I just stream it? I'm terrible. People will laugh at me, whatever. But we got 10 crown victory royales in Fortnite this season so far. It's not too terrible. So maybe I start doing some Terraria streams in here. Maybe I start doing some Fortnite streams. Maybe we start having some fun because I think the only way out of this for me is through. Like I'm at a point in my life right now where the former Infowars empire, it's really just been completely broken and destroyed. And I don't even have the means to work with any affiliated company like a DJN anymore. I'm just I'm out here on my own in the open. I really got it's my job to connect to you, the audience, and get you interested into all the stuff that we got going on. And I think the best way for me to do that is just for me to be available and accessible 24/7 for you guys to talk to. And I'm going to do a better job at reading the chat. I'm going to figure out how to do that. I want to hang out with you guys. I want to know what you're thinking, what you're doing during the day, and I'll let you know what I'm doing during the day as well. I'd like to tell you guys more about my work, maybe even do some work on stream, talk about the business, talk about life, talk about the things we're trying to do. For example, like we're trying to work on like 6 different unique formulations for various different people right now. If I got permission to talk about that type of stuff, maybe we could talk about it on stream. So all very interesting future things that we can do. But I feel like a lot of the time I come in here and I let the news make me angry because I hate war and I hate genocide and I hate having to look at it all day. But I'm still having a good time, in my daily life. I'm still enjoying things. I'd like to seek out more hobbies and learn more things from other people and just have more fun. So I think I want to be live basically like 6 hours a day for the rest of the year. Like, why not? Why can't I do that? I'm 23. I'm my own boss. I don't have my manager calling me to go to the Burger King or whatever. All and maybe soon. Maybe soon if y'all don't buy Knockout Sleep Support from 50% off.com, which I really highly recommend you do. But like I'm fighting for my existence here, just like I've been fighting for 5 years. And with me growing up, people assume that I've had a lot given to me. I've had to fight for every single thing I've ever had. And my dad has really helped me out. I've also really helped my dad out a lot over the years. We have a very strong bond, a very strong connection. But it's not a thing as to me where I can go ask him for help. My dad, he needs all the help he can get too. So it's up to me to be responsible and to make the pitch to you guys to support me. Because if I'm just coming on here and I'm just doing like angry stream of consciousness and I'm not reflecting deeper about the big picture about what this broadcasting is actually about, which is about building a connection with you guys and building a community around all the values that we hold and also just having fun and having it not be a weird cultish hateful thing, having it be a thing of like we're humans, we live in this world, we want this world to be better, we see positivity and love in most everybody unless they're evil. I just want to perpetuate that. And I think what it is, and I've been trying to do this. I'll share a little bit of my theory here. Been trying to do this way. The goal, if you want to get better at doing something, is not to do some sort of crazy exposure therapy and then not do it and then go back and do it and then not do it and go back and do it. What it is daily consistency. And I want to get it to the point where I'm in the chair and I'm just chilling for you guys. I'm just chilling. I'm hanging out and I'm completely focused on the conversation at hand. I'm still distracted. I'm still thinking about work. I'm still thinking about all these things. I think the best way to clear all that up would just be to do some work on stream and just keep it honest and keep it real about all the things we're working on right now. I got to go build a damn calculator for white label formulations this afternoon, trying to build kind of a plug and play format for people who want to build their own formulas so we can quote them. But I got that coming up. I got a phone call. The phone call I was getting was about labels, about supplement labels for the new product we're developing with Owen Schroyer, who has a pre-workout coming out soon, kind of an energy nootropic formula. I won't say much more than that, but we're doing a lot of cool stuff right now. Really are. Let me check because she should almost be here. But I'm gonna go ahead and play this now. I'm gonna go ahead and play this interview. Let me find it. Do 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 do.
undeclared wars are commonplace. Tragically, our government...
Hi, everyone. Judge Andrew Napolitano here for Judging Freedom. Welcome to this special Saturday edition of Judging Freedom. Today is Saturday, April 4th, 2026, Holy Saturday in the Christian world. Yesterday was Good Friday. Tomorrow is Easter. Larry Johnson joins us now. Larry, it's a pleasure.
Yeah.
One of the chatters, the people that write to us during the show, said, why Charlie Kirk? Why now? There's so many other things going on in the world. Well, there was dramatic new evidence, or I should say the revelation of the absence of evidence during the week. And it's extremely profound because it may mean that a killer is still out there. But before we get to Charlie Kirk, Larry, and your research on the ballistics, you also did some extraordinary research last night and posted it at your website, Sonar 21, about the American airborne vehicles, I'm using that generic term, that have been shot down over Iran, notwithstanding President Trump's boasts about the U.S. having 100% control of Iran airspace. Can you explain, please?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to claim you have air supremacy. You can make that claim with respect to Iran. We dominate in terms of putting fixed wing and rotary wing aircraft into the air. However, the President Trump said specifically, they have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. And then came, Friday morning in Iran. There was a F-15E shot down. That's a combat jet, and the pilot was rescued. But there are two crewmen on that plane, and the other is called a weapons system officer, a WSO. They're still looking for him, so he could be a prisoner right now. He could be trying to practice escape and evasion in hopes of getting to a place where he can be picked up.
What do we think about the guy? Think about that. Think about this. So we got people up in space, supposedly right now, going to the moon. What do you think? Who do you think is more scared? You think people going to the moon are more scared, or do you think the guy trying to do the emergency evasion tactics in Iranian soil, hundreds of miles inland or wherever he is? Who do you think is more scared? Or do you think is in a tougher situation? I think it's probably the American pilot. Pray for him.
There was the A-10, the Thunderbolt, also known as the Warthog. It was shot down. It was also shot down, and it crashed into the Persian Gulf. That pilot was rescued. You had two Air Force helicopters called the double H-60G, Pavehawk. One crash landed into Iraq and was recovered. The other was damaged but made it back to base. KC-135 declared an emergency, an SOS, around 10 a.m. And had to return to base in Israel. An F-16. So it was a bad day for the Air Force. Let's put it that way. And
what does all this tell you about Trump's boasts and about the situation the U.S. military is in vis-a-vis Iranian defenses?
Well, Iran still has some defenses. And in fact, they're reportedly using an IRSA-7, an IR-SA-7 missile that reportedly can loiter. So you can put it up and it flies around like a glider looking for something. Now, clearly it's not going to go up to some of the altitudes that the U.S. aircraft are operating at. But if any of the U.S. aircraft get down at that altitude level where these are loitering, then they're hit and they're targeted. So the notion that Israel and the United States have completely obliterated, wiped out Iranian air defense is just not true. And there are more U.S. pilots that are going to be potentially shot and killed or involved with crashes and captured. So this is, again, this is running counter to the Trump narrative that they got everything under control and the Iranians are on their back heels and they're ready to surrender. Just not true.
Thursday of this week, in the middle of a war, obviously, in the middle of the movement of 10,000 ground troops to where we don't know, the Secretary of Defense, who calls himself the Secretary of War, fired the Chief of Staff of the Army. Coincidence in timing, or can you read anything into that?
Well, I got a note yesterday from a senior guy I've known. He was a senior officer with the Joint Special Operations Command. He felt that this is more not so much a protest over what the U.S. is doing in Iran, but there were some some issues with the gentleman. He was known to be a political partisan, but again, the problem I have here is just when you start putting partisan politics into the military, it's a dangerous mix. It shouldn't be done by the Democrats. It shouldn't be done by the Republicans. But now Donald Trump and his crew are doing it. It is important to recognize, as in his role as Army Chief of Staff, he's not involved with any of the tactical decisions that are being made with respect to the employment of U.S. military forces in the Persian Gulf. So he's more with outside of that chain of command. His task is to modernize the U.S. Army.
Got it. He doesn't get involved, nor will his successor, in planning, plotting, and directing the day-to-day operations, even though there's probably 6 or 7 U.S. Army troops on the ground somewhere there. 6 or 7,000, excuse me. Right.
Correct.
Okay. To Charlie Kirk, why is the federal government involved in the investigation of a murder, which is a state crime and took place wholly within one state?
Yeah, this is what's so odd. It's not that they are involved now, being asked to look at the ballistics, being asked to provide some of their scientific capabilities to the case. On day one, they were right there involved. There are reports that there were 2 FBI agents at the hospital where Charlie Kirk was taken that were interfering with the doctor who was trying to treat Charlie Kirk. Then now you're going to step back and go, wait a second. Charlie Kirk was, even though he was from another state, but he's in Utah. The shooting took place in Utah. And the FBI's response to it was almost immediate. In fact, remember, within a couple of hours, Kash Patel's tweeting out, "Oh, we got him," and then, "Oh no, never mind, we got the wrong person." Why in God's name was he even involved? Because forget that Charlie Kirk was a celebrity. Charlie Kirk was not a federal official of any kind.
Okay. All right. I'm just doing some maintenance here. Again, we got Shroom Force, we got Jones CBD with the incredible Dreamwave. That's jonescbd.com. We got Knockout Sleep Support. Really the thing you want to try. 50%off.com. Men's multivitamin. That's what's being recommended to me on YouTube ads. Who do we got in here, guys? How are we all doing today? We got more news to cover. I'm kind of in limbo because I'm waiting for someone to show up to my house. They told me they were coming here at 1:15. Now they're coming at 1:40. So I am sitting in my fatness and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to cover for you guys next. I've got more. Believe me, I've got more. Anything you guys want to hear me cover, I'll cover it. What's up? What's up, Moshmiri? How are you doing? I guess we're looking at some things on my feed real quick. Also going to pull some things down here as well. Got a statement from Lindsey Graham breaking. We got this Lindsey Graham interview. What a missed opportunity from this guy on the street. Reuters is saying that Israel is preparing energy strikes or strikes on Iran's energy. I mean, I think we already knew it. Apparently, Soleimani had a niece who was living in the U.S. on a green card. That green card's still since been revoked. I got Trump making light of God again. I got more footage of the strikes going on in Tehran and commentary on the attitude surrounding that. So let's go ahead and get into it. So Lindsey Graham indicates ground invasion coming and it makes him happy. After spending time with Trump this morning, I'm completely convinced that he will use overwhelming military force against the regime if they continue to impede Strait of Hormuz and refuse a diplomatic solution to achieve our military objectives. If it's not clear to Iran and others by now that President Trump means what he says, I don't know how it ever will be. I support the 48-hour ultimatum. Okay, he supports the 48-hour threat. A massive military operation awaits Iran if they choose poorly. How is this guy electable? And I've said this many times. I've met great people from South Carolina. I've met some of the best people from South Carolina. Super friendly, super cool, give you a cigarette, whatever. This is their guy. And we looked up why this was. We looked up why this is. I'm sure you've heard me cover it before. South Carolina is top 10 in the nation for boomer population. I think it's like 20% or damn near 20%. That's how you get politicians like this. And that's that glass ceiling that we're going to have to figure out how to break. It's just like, if you got these old people that are going to vote for Lady G, because he reminds me of Herbert Hoover or something, I don't know. How are we going to fix this? So gay, it hurts. I love your accent for him. So fitting. That's what he sounds like. You know, he's not even brave, because if they're blackmailing him off being gay, then just be gay. Ultimately, it's not a crime against humanity, right? You can argue about sin and whatnot, but it's not a crime against humanity. You're not killing somebody, right? This guy, they use whatever leverage they have on him, and it's got to be little kid stuff, because, like I said, just being gay ain't enough. This is the Grim Reaper. Look at that. Look at the crud on his teeth. Let's see if I can do a zoom in. Come on. Bullshit. Bullshit, Twitter. Sorry, forgive me for the cursing. When it gets smaller, why does it get bigger? That's bizarre. Look at that. Look at the crud on his teeth. That's disgusting. Is he a smoker? See, this is the maw. It's the maw of hell. But this is a guy that said that he was going to abide by term limits in 1992. And people still believe what he says. This is Trump's golfing buddy. This is Trump's friend. And if you don't support this statement, you're not MAGA. Well, I guess I'm not MAGA then. I'm fine with that. And then we got him out here on the mean streets of South Carolina or wherever he is. And some person, here's the thing. If you're like official, like I am a journalist, I'm asking a journalistic question, then get in his face and say, why do you support the killing of innocent children in Palestine and Iran? Why do you support this illegal war of aggression? Are you a human being or are you a demon from hell? That's the question a real journalist would ask. We're going to watch what he does. He goes, oh, Lindsey Mass, oh, can you fist bump? I'm not fist bumping that monster. I don't want to get hepatitis C or AIDS, to be honest with you. I don't want to get some sort of venereal disease. I mean, this guy's got to get himself checked out after touching Lindsey Graham. Touching Lindsey Graham. Wow. You know, here's an interesting point. You know what? I've touched Bernie Sanders. I met Bernie Sanders in LAX. We were going to Hawaii and he was doing some connecting flight. My dad confronted him a little bit, whatever. But actually, I went up to him. I actually shook his hand. So I wanted to meet him, you know. So, you know, I've done it, but Bernie Sanders ain't involved in the genocide and murder and illegal war like Lindsey Graham is. And maybe he's not as much of a murderer, even though they're all corrupt and evil. But I'll go ahead and play it. It's only a 10-second. Because look at this. Look at this security detail that Lindsey has. The princess guard. These are the guards of the princess. The princess goes to the pink chariot to go get double sausage down by some brave IDF soldiers. These brave young boys I'm backing. Let's see what he says. Gotta mute myself.
Senator.
Buddy, how you doing?
How you doing? Is there a foreign war you don't support?
I support wars that make America safer.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, how about instead of a thank you, how about a fuck you? How about a fuck you, war pig? I mean, this is like a magical opportunity. This is like seeing a unicorn out in the wild. If a unicorn was an evil creature and was gay and loved death, and you don't maximize the opportunity, dude. If the security ain't surrounding you and trying to threaten you with their physical presence, you're not doing enough. You're not calling for any sort of violent or direct action, not calling for any of that, but you got to stand your ground. You got to get in that guy's face and use your First Amendment. Fuck you. You're my public servant. Fuck you, especially. I mean, if you're a South Carolinian, you got to treat this guy like dirt, lower than dirt, like dog doo doo on your shoe. You got to scrape him off and throw him away. Play that one more time.
Senator,
Buddy, how you doing?
how you doing? Is there a foreign war you don't support?
I support wars that make America safer.
He supports wars that make America safer. None of these wars make America safer. These wars put America directly under threat, actually, for retaliatory action. You see, we go boom, like we start the fight, and then when we get hit back, we're like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You're a terrorist. How much longer are we going to do this, guys? How much longer are we going to hit people and then run away and act like they've committed a crime for hitting us? It's like you go to someone's house with a gun, you smack them in the head with it, you rob their safe, and you beat their wife up, and then you go to the police when they come after you. This is not logical. Do you see how this doesn't work? But they don't see. I know you guys see in the audience. I know you understand it very clearly. Breaking: Israel preparing strikes on Iranian energy facilities, just like they did. You know, when Trump came out and said Israel did this out of anger and we don't support it, we weren't a part of it, and it came out that we were a part of the strikes on the linked Qatari Iranian gas field, where they both kind of drill under each other's territory just a little bit, or like they kind of share the space with each other along border lines. So we've already done this. Okay, and they've already paid for this in retaliatory strikes on initial infrastructure on Dimona, right on the Dimona nuclear facility in Israel. They're going to do it again. They're going to do it again while they have or are trying to capture an American pilot that's deep behind enemy lines. And as long as that pilot is deep behind enemy lines, and as long as it's not confirmed that they have him, and we haven't seen the photo of the prisoner and all that, so maybe they don't have him yet, the U.S. is going to have to keep sending planes and troops in there to try to recover the guy, and that puts them in a disadvantage at a risk. We can't go in there. Trump said, what did he say? A lot of burps today. I think it's your mate. What was the thing that Trump said? He said, we have total air superiority. They can't do anything. We're flying over Tehran right now. Well, I mean, this guy was in Western Iran. He wasn't even close to the big power systems, and he still got shot down. And it's dozens of planes now at this point. If you include the Reaper drones, it's 13 Reapers. Like, it's just scraps on the plate to be tossed away by fat American scumbags that are just like, oh, it doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter to us. And the people that are in the military, they're a knife, they're a spear, they're a sword. They're a unit. It's their job to fulfill the objective. They're not at fault. It's the people operating that. It's people pulling the trigger, literally making the decisions in Washington, D.C. and Tel Aviv that are responsible for everything we're seeing right now. This is coming. This is going to be hideous. Okay. And it's going to be hideous because all right, you know what? I just have to go back to it. The quartering today, he's LOLing because gas prices haven't hit $200 a barrel. It's like, oh, it's still bad. It's 120, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Huh? You said it was over and oh, ships are passing through. If the Israelis do this, if the Israelis target energy infrastructure again in Iran, Iran is going to hit Saudi Arabia. Iran is going to hit all the major oil depots. Iran is going to hit all the major pipelines, and the Houthis are going to hit the Saudi Arabian situation in the Red Sea, which 2 million barrels per day are currently flowing through. That's going to just completely plunge the world economy into darkness. And no matter what you say, no matter what you do, it's going to be our escalation that's caused it yet again. Again, it's like punching somebody in the face, and then they hit you back, and then you go to the cops. You don't get to do that. Actually, they can go to the cops, and you're going to jail. Dude, people don't understand the fucking law, like the law of reality. They want to pretend that might makes right, but we're not even mighty. Like, we're weak. We're weak. We're just like all the other nations around the world, just with the bloated military. We act like we control the world. Trump acts like he has a remote. And he's like, I turn it off, I turn it off, I turn it off, I turn it back on, turn it back on, turn it back on. The economy's in shambles. We're going towards depression. This is going to be the trigger event for it. And all the people that are making the money off of it, I hope you have a nice ranch somewhere far away, and I hope it truly is all a grift and you're going to hide out because if that's not a part of your calculation, like when things melt down in the cities, it's not going to be very good for you, especially when people know that, like, if you supported this, especially if you're someone like one of these politicians, like a Lindsey Graham, like it's just not going to be healthy. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, but people make their own decisions. How about, okay, we'll read a few comments from Renee. Hello, Renee. Rex, how about a parasite cleanse? I mean, here's the thing. It's just, it doesn't sell well. Like people, like, they don't want to buy that from me. They want to buy it from somebody else. It's like, it's a really intense formula that you have to do for something like that. I think our old formula was living defense. And that was just a ton of like wormwood and a ton of like really like, I don't know. You're going to spend a lot of time on the toilet. Let's just say that. And I'm not currently in any sort of market where I can try to like sell that benefit to people. Like, I'm not a medical doctor or anything. You have to kind of work with medical professionals to make a product like that. I will say Bigley has an incredible probiotic formula. I think it's 40 or 60 billion CFU, and it's specific strains that are designed or have been designed to in the past. I'm not sure the brand is sold or marketed for this purpose. Not making claims here, but it's for, or aims to be for, people that have had, staph or things like that, or like resistant infections. It's a really good formula. I wanted to bring that to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, just kind of like MMA combat sports atmosphere, because a lot of those guys have been on antibiotics for many years, and they have just these repeat skin issues that come up because they have no gut microbiome, because it's just been destroyed with repeated like amoxicillin exposure and other things. Right. That's the thing about antibiotics is we have all of these really crazy strains of things around here now that didn't used to be here. And it's because of the way that we try to treat them. But thank you for that. I think Trump was drugged by nanotech, like everyone's saying he changed around the shot. I mean, that's less crazy of an explanation than saying that he's the dear leader and everything he does is great. So I hear you on that. From Braxton Anthony, Rex, you're doing a great job on American Journal. I enjoy you and Tim breaking shit down. Love to hear it. We love to hear it. That's what we do it for. We just want to be a fun place for y'all to hang out and learn new things about the world and hear analysis that you enjoy. So like that's awesome to me. I love it. If I can just make one person a day feel like that, then I feel like I've done my job. That's awesome. That's awesome. They arrested the niece to use for a potential prisoner swap for the pilot. I think you're right. Whoa. Okay. Excellent take from Mojo, or Mojo from Wojak Arc in parentheses there. That's got to be what's going on. That's actually, that makes total sense. That makes total sense to me. Where did I had it? I had it in my feed. Here we go. Breaking, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announces ICE has arrested the niece of former Iranian Major General Qasem Soleimani, who has been living in the United States. Her legal status has been terminated. It is being removed from the country. The Trump administration will not allow our country to become a home for foreign nationals who support anti-American terrorist regimes. Look how huge his ears are. They cover up a third of his face. That's crazy. Half his face, like a third of his head. Stuff like that makes you unelectable. We got like Chud Vance, and then we got like Horton Hears a Rubio. Really crazy. The limited options we have. Really insane. Rex, I'm at the top of Gen X, bottom boomer. I just want to say we aren't all Fox oldies. I know. I absolutely know. I respect you guys. I love you guys. I'm sorry. I know boomer is kind of a slur, but like there's a reason for that. And it's the best way sometimes to describe the like pernicious ideology of the older generation that's kind of always been for these foreign entanglements and for these massive wars and for the massive spending. But I totally hear you. Much respect. I love, like, it's an incredible honor that people that are much older than me, 30, 40, 50 years older than me, choose to watch my media. It's a great honor. I really do appreciate it. I really do. Yeah, I can't do a parasite cleanse for a little while. Let's watch him talk about God. I like watching him talk about God in church and stuff. And here's the thing. I'm wicked. I'm a sinner, premarital sex, drink, other things, not good, not trying to call anybody not a Christian, not trying to ascribe things to people that shouldn't be ascribed to them. It's not my position. Only God can judge. And if you don't judge people, you're going to be a lot better off than if you do. I know a lot of this job is heaping judgment on people and pointing out their flaws. But in the world of politics, in the world of reality, these people are doing a job. We're calling them out on not doing their job. I try not to engage in too much ad hominem attack, although I am prone to making jokes now and again. But it's just, we got to remember, we're all like, every breath we take is an infinite mercy. Like, you have a brain aneurysm and die. Like right now, like I just go, it would just be over. So you got to thank God for every moment we have and not tell people like you're going to hell, blah, 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 not say stuff like that. Because by condemning them, you're condemning yourself. But it's very weird that the president of the United States, who ran on being a Christian and basically bringing God back, bringing America first, he never talks about Jesus. He never really talks about God. He says he doesn't know if he's going to heaven. And that would be quite based, honestly, if it came from like a theological perspective. But he says that from the Protestant perspective of like, just like being saved, like purely through faith alone gospel. He doesn't even think he has that. And like, that's like, you can see a lot of the time from ignorance, things slip through the cracks. Him thinking that, like coming to that conclusion, he's correct. Like he's right. I don't think Trump's going to heaven either. I don't think I'm going to heaven, to be fair. I don't know that, right? Only God knows that. Only God can judge and make that decision. But him saying that as the president of the United States to his Protestant evangelical Christian Zionist audience, it's a pretty crazy admission that he's in the wrong, right? Because he doesn't have the epistemic justification for it, like I just put, right? And I just gave you Orthodox theology. Like Orthodox people, they don't say that they're saved, right? Because that's up to God, and we hope we are. We hope we can do good things in this life, right? And be an example of be like Christ, be a little Christ. That's what a Christian means. But Trump doesn't have that connection. At least I don't think so. Not speaking for the man. Let him speak for himself. We will let him speak for himself.
When we go in church and when I drink my little wine, which is about the only wine I drink, and have my little cracker, I guess that's a form of asking for forgiveness. And I do that as often as possible.
When I drink the little wine and I eat the little cracker, that's my version of asking for forgiveness. This is why we have dead kids. Okay, this is why we have dead kids from abortion over here, and this is why we have dead kids from murder and bombs over there. The American people are deeply unserious and don't care about anything. And he's the perfect example of that. And that's why, like, at least we're being open and honest about the wars about regime change, wars about the oil. Ooh, I need to get the Trump tweets about the oil. I forgot to include those in the slideshow for today. But it's so wild. It really is crazy. So, yeah, I eat the little cracker, I drink the little wine. I guess there's forgiveness there. There isn't even like a spiritual process he goes through. This is how millions, tens of millions of Americans think. This is the boomer reality. I'm not calling all boomers that I know. I literally just talked to a boomer, but this is real crystalline brain stuff. And that's the peace president. That is the peace president. We've got this. We got the caption from Eric Doherty, disgusting caption. Tehran get absolutely pummeled overnight. There's a lot worse coming for the Iranian regime if they don't fulfill President Trump's demands in under 48 hours. There's a lot more coming. We'll see about that from both sides. But you know what? I think she's getting here. I've been waiting for someone to come to my house. She's supposed to go 115. She came 140. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Larry Johnson video, and then I'm going to join you guys in about 15 minutes. So bear with me here. Let's play this out. Key information. This guy, CIA intel analyst for many, many years, many, many decades, involved in Delta Force planning, all of it.
So this should be treated just like any other shooting. Yes, it was horrific. It was seen on television, but it did not cross that line of a federal crime. And unless you've got a federal crime, the FBI isn't involved. There's no way around. And unless the local police, after investigating, say, hey, we've got some unusual stuff, we need some help from the feds, they can ask for it then. But that should have come a day or two later. Heavens, Kash Patel was climbing on an airplane to get out there as quickly as possible. So
you know what?
That's the big red flag right there. Why the hell was the FBI on scene that day? What did they know?
So FBI agents in an operating room while surgeons are feverishly trying to save the life of a mortally wounded, well-known person. Reminds me of Parkland Hospital in Dallas on November 22nd, 1963. What the hell were they doing in an operating room?
Well, they actually, these two, they weren't in the operating room. They were outside the door of the operating room. The doctor had exited. And when the doctor tried to go back in, they stopped him and weren't going to let him back in. It was like, guys, they got no jurisdiction here.
Right.
And yet, again, it's one thing if the FBI is called in and say, hey, well, listen, this is a complicated investigation. We need some help. Fine. The FBI can respond to that kind of request. But we're talking within the hour of him being shot, you've got multiple FBI personnel on scene, which candidly suggests they knew something. They knew what was going to happen. It's that bad.
Tell us how investigators can connect a bullet to the weapon from which it has been fired.
Okay, so I'll show you this. If a the claim is that a 30-06. So this is a 30-06. I've drilled out the gunpowder. I've got a rubber primer, so it's not a live round, but this is the size, and just to put it's about half, a little more than a third of the size of an iPhone. So that's a big bullet. When that bullet is ejected from the shell casing, because the firing sequence is you get a firing pin that hits the primer,
right.
It ignites the gunpowder, and that explosion propels this bullet out down the barrel of a rifle in this case, and that rifle has what are called lands and grooves. So those lands and grooves, if you remember the old 007 poster where you'd be looking at James Bond gun and you'd see the spiral.
Yeah,
that's the lands and grooves, that spiral. And what that does is it helps put the spin on the bullet and provide some stability during its flight downrange.
So when the bullet comes out, it's spinning.
Right. But those every rifle has it's sort of like fingerprints. They're unique, and it'll have, you can fire another bullet, another piece of ammunition, and have the bullet come out through that barrel, and then compare them. And they should have similar striations and different marks on the actual bullet. And that's assuming you recover a bullet.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all for waiting for me. And this is an excellent breakdown, but we all know the truth about this event. And it's very simple for anyone that's ever hunted before. So I hunt with a 308. I've killed dozens of deer and skinned them and dressed them and taken care of them and put the meat in my freezer, many more times than I can count. And I'm going to tell you right now, I hunt with a 308. A 308, I blow a hole out of the other side of the animal. And you can't shoot somebody, even if they're a man of steel, even if they're a 6'6" Giga Chad like Charlie Kirk. You can't shoot somebody in the neck with a high-powered rifle and not have it go out the other side, and the bullet doesn't match. Now, do we believe the Candace Owens Fort Chukwuka Hawk Tua? Do we believe in Fort Hawk Tua? Absolutely not. Do we believe in Mitch Snow going back to the military base after 30 years to uncover the Mexican cartel military government alliance that he was involved in special operations? And he goes back there, he runs into the 12 colonels with Erica Kirk plotting the murder of Charlie and blah, blah, blah. That's not how these decisions are made. Charlie Kirk was an incredibly powerful and influential political figure, probably the biggest person in young conservative media, and intimately involved since 2016 in the entire Trump movement, incredibly principled, incredibly pro-Israel, but also incredibly anti-war. And when you start talking about things like the stand on October 7th, you start talking about things like no Iran war, and they look at you and you have this massive political platform. You have this means to get anybody in the country elected. You have thousands of campaign offices and probably tens of thousands of volunteers working for Turning Point. You are the biggest thing ever in like modern internet conservative politics. They get to kill you, and then they get to do a brain transplant with whoever that's going to be. I think we know who that is. We get to do a brain transplant. And then suddenly that massive political organization, that campaigning engine it's available to mainstream neocon uniparty GOP with no constraint. Whereas with Charlie, you actually had to talk to Charlie. You had to explain why you're pro-war, and he's not pro-war, and he's going to disagree with you on that. He's going to call you out on that. It was much more convenient for him just to go away. I think that's very clear and very obvious to everybody. That's the world that we live in. What do y'all think about that? I love you guys so much. I really do. I really do. Thank you. We got 1,000 y'all in here tonight. Or not tonight. I'm doing the show earlier. 1,000 of you in here this afternoon. Very thankful that y'all chose to spend some time with me. I'm going to pull one more thing up here. Pull two more things up here. Got my dad putting out another video. Y'all want to see my dad's latest take on the Attorney General situation? Y'all interested in that? I might be interested in that because I haven't seen it yet. And I watch all the things too. I'm just like you guys. I'm just watching all the same stuff y'all are too. And that's why I like to do the on-stream reactions to it. What's up, Diego? Thanks for being here on the stream tonight, this evening, or this afternoon. So I'll go ahead and show my Twitter feed. All right, you know what? Let's go ahead and react to this. I'll give my honest opinion. I don't agree with my dad on a lot of this stuff. So let's see what's going on here.
There's a few things I forgot to add in the report below concerning the fact that Tulsi Gabbard was almost fired last Monday by President Trump. He was reminded by multiple individuals he trusts of how she's one of the only people that stood up for him against the deep state. And, of course, the fact that Ed Martin T. Strong considered to be the deputy AG, not just because he's loyal and patriot and go after the deep state.
Okay, I've always thought the car filming videos are deranged. Like filming yourself as you drive on the highway and like you're trying to make like political like thought statements. You're trying to do deep analysis and you're in the car. My dad can multitask. He's a unique guy. He's an incredible driver. He really is a good driver, but I do agree he needs to drive safe.
Also because he's already been in the administration, he's already been in the Justice Department to that position. And so Congress wouldn't have to approve him for up to 9 months. He could actually get the job done through the midterms. So that's another big reason he's being strongly considered. I mean, it's very close. But here's the update, the things I want to explain. People get confused. I saw the first comments on my report below that's exclusive and absolutely accurate and huge and important and good news. We have a tug of war going on over Trump, and we've been losing the tug of war with the Israel lobby and the neocons. People like Todd Blanche, Democrat lawyer, who really ran the Justice Department. That's not being admitted. Bondi just basically did Fox News interviews. Whether you love Trump or hate him, he's the president right now. And if we just get mad and just say screw him and walk away and then don't lobby and pressure for good people and good policies, be turning totally over to people like Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, and Todd Blanche. So Democrats ought to be lobbying against the war. Libertarians, everybody. So people are commenting like, wait, you're for Trump, you're against Trump, what is it? I've been upset with Trump and saying he's gone off the rails and may not come back, but that we should push him to do the right thing.
It's time to disavow. It really is. It's time to cut bait on Trump, like he said originally. How does he turn this around? Bring everybody home? I would applaud that, especially if people like Israel were held accountable for forcing us into this illegal war of aggression and really running our government, getting us to the point where this is our reality now. But I just don't like it. I don't like this. This is a little bit of fence sitting, just a little bit of it. But you got it, Dad. We've been anti-war for 30 years. You raised me to be against everything that's happening right now. I know you're against the war and you're anti-war. We got to call Trump out directly. Like this is a betrayal of MAGA. We can't have him as the figurehead of the movement anymore. And it's just like, what could he do to make it right but pull all our military bases out and leave the region? He's never going to do that. So we have to oppose empire. It's important to me because that's what he taught me to do.
And then I got a bunch of good news last night and today. So I'm just reporting on facts. And anybody saying we shouldn't lobby the Republicans in the White House for good policies or that we're with Trump if we do that, that's a neocon talking point because they want us isolated and not engaged. It's all about bubble wrapping Trump. So it's not about me. It's about Trump ending this war and getting an off-ramp. Also see comments go, well, wait a minute. Trump's talking about totally obliterating Iran. Just yes, Truth Social if they don't give up the Strait of Hormuz. He also said the same day he's just going to walk away and leave it to others to get it back. Those are all negotiating tactics, okay? And Trump knows he was given bad advice about the war that would end in 4 days and the regime would fall, and he's pissed off. I have that directly from people that talk to him that are his confidants, okay? And you can see him in a lot of the news saying that they want off ramps. And his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, is a political realist, and she's out there in the news saying that she wants the war to end. And
Susie Wiles is an Israeli operative. She worked on Netanyahu's campaign. And I know he doesn't like her either. She's not a political realist. I guess she is, and in that context, she wants the war to stop, apparently. But these people, it's just like the quartering, where they're like, we're anti-war, want the war to end, and they perpetuate the war. So, like, what are we doing here? We got to move past this. Really do.
He was giving bad advice. So I don't care who gets him to stop the war, okay? This isn't about a popularity contest, okay? We know the Democrats are pure evil. They want nuclear war with the Russians. They literally want to, implode our borders and all the rest of it. I want to salvage what we can out of Trump. I don't want the Democrats to win the midterms. So I'm going to criticize Trump and bad people's administration, get them back on track. And if they don't, that's that issue. But I'm going to support Kennedy with all the stuff he's doing. He's done a lot of great stuff. And I'm going to support Tulsi Gabbard. This is real serious, folks. This is serious business, okay? This isn't about, are you for Trump, are you against Trump? It's about the reality. And it's about getting good people in at the DOJ that'll actually go after the swamp, and Ed Martin's that. So this is about action points, okay? That's what this is about. Because I saw all the first comments were just basically, oh, well, no, Trump's bad. Nothing's good. We'll never fix anything. Well, why are you now back with Trump? It has nothing to do with back with Trump. I have been supporting Trump because overall he was doing good policies that were anti-globalist. It's been night and day compared to the Democrats the last 10 years when he's been in charge.
What about data center? What about vaccine? What about border? I know the border shut down, but they're not doing mass deportations. We're too grateful for the scraps that we're given. We need to demand the whole turkey. It's important now. Nothing else matters because of the war. Like everything's been laid bare. If we don't claim what's ours, it's just going to be taken from us forever.
It's very simple what's going on there. Real politics. It's very, very simple. It's not about who the beauty queen and king of the prom are. It's about the issues of ending this war, the issues of not having the economy destroyed, the issues of not having a nuclear war, the issues of taking the good Trumps down with the border and stuff and continuing that and winning the midterms. So that is what this is about, and it's a big deal. And you have Bongino and the CIA director and Kash Patel in there trying to get Todd Blanche in as the permanent AG. That's the target. That's the issue. Not just give up and stop engaging Trump. You can say Trump betrayed us. You can say he's the swamp. You say all this stuff. But I know we can move the needle on him to do a better job. I know we can influence him. That's what this is about, period. I hope that makes sense to people, and we can move into the action issues here. Getting stuff done. That's what this is about. God bless you all. Follow me on Extra Real Alex Shows on Rumble, the Alex Show, and we'll have more reports as this.
Okay, what do we think of that? I'm going to play one more thing. Play this Tim Dillon clip. I think this is what's going on. This is the reality of the situation. We're going to go ahead and play this. This is 1 minute. He says it all. Tim Dillon, ladies and gentlemen, the great Tim Dillon.
It's the greatest con in history. By the way, it's the greatest con in history. I mean, truly. It's the greatest. And I don't say great in like a good way. It is truly the most successful con in history. It makes Enron look like a guy doing 3-card Monte on the street. Anything that you can remember and identify as a complete and utter scam, this is the greatest con in history. To run as an America first, and you're going to take care of America, and then turn around and go, all of these things, daycare, Medicare, Medicaid, we have nothing to do with that. We're fighting wars. That's what we're here to do. We're here to have a defense budget of $1.5 trillion, and we're here to fight wars. It is the greatest scam in history. You got to hand it to him. And I mean, truly, and not in, again, not in a moral way, but like, you got to hand it to him. This is the greatest about face in political history that I have really ever seen.
It's the biggest betrayal ever. It's the biggest betrayal in, I would say, modern political history, but just political history in general. It's a damned lie, and it's one that we're being told we have to accept, and we're absolutely going to refuse to do that. And all this stuff, the prediction market stuff, should be totally illegal. You should not be able to bet on events like this because then you're going to influence events like this. And we see all sorts of allegations about people in the White House being involved in these prediction markets. I mean, they legalize them, they partner with them sometimes. It's Trump has his own crypto coin. It's all beyond degenerate, but polymarket odds and U.S. forces entering Iran by April 30th at 83%, up from 60% a couple days ago. This is just going to happen. Like we're seeing more evidence of the happening going on. Just chronicling it for you, like it or hate it. This is what you voted for. It's just like Tim Dillon said. It's the biggest about face in American political history. We thought we were voting against this, and you're voting for people to bet on it. Actually, you're voting for people to make money off the war in prediction markets, not just to fight the war. It really is end stage empire stuff. This is the decline of the empire as the empire loses more and more of its grace and strength and power and ability. It decides to engage in asymmetrical warfare and hard power action because the soft power, the economic system, the inflation, it's all been degraded. Right now, these other nations in the BRICS and that are running systems like China and Russia are with SIPs, with alternative payment processing that bypasses SWIFT. We're going to be phased out, and the last capital we have, the last currency we have, is being spent on this war, and people are betting on the war, and people are doing a bonfire on the burning castle that is the empire. All right. All right. You know what? I'm a little bit out of gas today. I'm a little bit tired. I'm going to go to bed early today. And when I go to bed early today, I'm going to be taking my knockout sleep support. I told you about this a little bit earlier. I've been selling supplements all my life, but I've been in business for myself for the past 5 years. This is the product I'm the most proud of reformulating. It's a classic InfoWars Life item. It's an item that sold hundreds of thousands of units over its lifetime because people know it's amazing. People know it's incredible. They want great, non-drowsy, non-habit forming sleep aids. They want knockout sleep support for the price. If you're going to HEB and you're going to get magnesium citrate, HEB is a grocery store here in Texas if you're not local. Go to HEB, you get magnesium citrate, and you get melatonin. You've just spent $45. Okay, this has that and more. This has 8 different ingredients in it. It's got the hops flower, it's got the valerian root, it's got the L-tryptophan, it's got the blue chamomile, German extracted CO2 extracted blue chamomile from Germany. It's got the GABA, it's got the magnesium, it's got the L-theanine. It's literally got everything you need for a perfect night's sleep, all wrapped up, all rolled into one, non-habit forming, super easy, light melatonin. It's just 3 milligram, but if you need more, you can take 2. And you got the magnesium in there to help the melatonin. You got the L-theanine there to help the melatonin. You got the GABA, really the anxiolytic effect of that to help the melatonin, plus the complete botanical matrix. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to find a better sleep product. If you are someone that struggles with sleep, if you're somebody that takes melatonin already, I'm just asking you to consider making the switch. You don't have to order it right now. You could order it whenever you run out of your bottle. But a lot of people supplement with sleep products. I've been taking this particular product for 10 years straight. And when we ran out of it, I had to reformulate it so we could have it again. I want to remind you guys, I also have other supplements on this store as well, including Brain Force Plus, absolute classic. I've got this whole line of really high quality herbal tinctures as well. And we've got the Shroom Force products also available on 50percentoff.com. If you're interested in this, if you want to get high quality ultimate cordyceps, ultimate reishi, ultimate lion's mane mushroom, and if you want to take the dose that's actually used in the studies, then you can go to 50percentoff.com or shroomforce.com. Let me pull that up really quick. Or shroomforce.com, and you can get any of these phenomenal blends. You can mix and match, you can bundle and save. I'm telling you, you're going to buy a 2-month supply, high dose supply, efficacious dose supply of ashwagandha, reishi, golden root. That's a Viking adaptogen, incredible for exercise. Lion's mane cordyceps. You're going to get these combo packs for like $50-$60. And there's more discounts. You get further deals if you subscribe with your email and save. This is the place to be if you're looking for the highest quality adaptogen functional mushrooms on the market. And I want to remind people, this isn't a mushroom coffee. This isn't a greens blend. These are 60-count capsule bags. And inside the capsule bag, inside the packet, there's an efficacious dose in each pill. Or each capsule. It's a month's dose or it's a 2 months dose, depending on if you want to go high or you want to go moderate. But you look up the studies. These are all 4-to-1 extracts. These are the doses that are actually used to get the effects that you want. What would those effects be? take cordyceps, you get greater ATP, greater oxygen utilization and carrying capacity. Incredible. My jiu-jitsu friends love it. It's great for rolling, great for combat sports, great for aerobics. The lion's mane increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, so it gives you the ability to have a younger brain, a more plastic brain, learn new skills, learn new things. Just a really incredible stimulant-free nootropic. Both of them are. You got the ashwagandha, of course, which is incredible. What the ashwagandha is used for is the stress hormone cortisol is actually fed by cholesterol. It switches the cholesterol from going into cortisol. It makes the cholesterol go into testosterone. It changes the balance of that system. It modulates cortisol. It lowers it. It raises testosterone as a direct effect of that. You definitely want to get that. Plus, it's anxiolytic, incredible anti-anxiety aid. You want to get Ultimate Ashwagandha. And if you take Ultimate Reishi, a lot of people have talked to me about reishi, and I've learned a lot more about it recently and what the specific polysaccharides do. People take this in the morning and they say it helps them sleep better at night. Like my warehouse forewoman, Trish, she takes this at like 9 a.m. every day. And she says since she's been taking it, her sleep is absolutely incredible. Modulates the immune system as well. It's phenomenal for stress. All of that and more on shroomforce.com. And I just want to remind you again, Knockout Sleep Support, 50% off.com. If I can convince 5 of you guys today to try this, I guarantee I get 5 beautiful testimonials wanting more. And I'll give you discount codes if you want to give a testimonial. Highly recommend. Order the product. Try it out. If you're taking melatonin already, this is an absolute no-brainer. And we got people in the chat that have taken them. All Jones Fan products are legit. It's better than anything you'll find in any high-end grocery store. Guarantee. Like, this is the premium supplement aisle for you and your family should you choose to use it. Thank you so much, guys, for being here on the stream with me tonight. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I'm a little bit gassed, but I love you. I'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, so we have the main gray area. It's me and Tim Tompkins still scrambling for a guest. I've got a few people potentially lined up. We'll be able to find somebody. Of course, we interviewed James Fishback, the gubernatorial candidate, again for the second time on Friday on the American Journal, and we're hosting the American Journal next week, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. I know a lot of y'all are probably from here checking out the channel for the first time. I do daily lives. I got to come up with a channel and figure out what I'm going to call them. Gray area and RexX gray area and all these things. I try to be live here every single day for you guys in the chair twice. And this is what I said earlier on in the broadcast. This is the model I'm going to move forward to. I'm going to be doing a 3-hour show in the morning. Okay, whether that's here at the office or whatever. I'm doing a 3-hour show in the morning. We're going to do first 2 hours, news blitz interview, and then I'm going to take calls in third hour. And then I will come back probably 8 to 10 hours later at night, and we will do a 90-minute rundown, countdown show, roundup. And we're just going to get really good at tracking all the various stories and information, plus doing stream of consciousness. And when I play a video game in the future, I'm going to start streaming that so I can turn a negative into a positive. Thank you all for being here tonight. And I just want to remind you again, because it's matters to me. Okay, because I got employees, I got rent. These are American made, American shipped. I do the shipping, I do the manufacturing, nose to tail. It's all me. If you want to support me, subscribe and save to Knockout Sleep Support right now. I'm going to increase the subscription discount to where you get it for $19.99 a month if you subscribe. I think that would be a better deal for people. And literally, like, how do you say no to that? How do you say no to that? I got to do it so I can say that. How do you say no to that? Even now, the price it's at, it's incredible. I already explained to you how it's cheaper to take this versus 2 easily normally combined products like the magnesium and melatonin. This is cheaper to get it all in one. I'm going to give you guys even bigger deals and discounts. Take a look at my stores. If you want a product, just at me under the stream and say, hey, I want a discount code for this or the other thing. I'm trying to make stuff happen. I'm trying to keep the lights on. I want to keep being able to do this show for you guys, but I got to also work on my home business as well. I've been letting that slack a little bit. I need your support. I'm thankful for your support. Go to 50%off.com. If you're a melatonin user, I highly recommend that this is the new product for you, Knockout Sleep Support. Thank you very much. Good night.